Our final session in the Back to School series, Top 5 Canvas Classroom Tips. We have been extremely grateful for everybody that has joined us today for all of these fantastic sessions, as we hope they're extremely valuable to you, our educators out there, in getting back onto Canvas and getting back in the swing of things. I'm really excited about this session because Jamie is one of my all-time favorite people over there at Learning Services, and a huge Disney fanatic, as you can tell behind her, all of her Disney ears, her Disney magic that she gets to be blessed with every day as she works, which I am always extremely jealous of. But Jamie is here specifically to talk about SpeedGrader. And I know there are folks out there that don't use SpeedGrader to its full potential. And there are so many little things that you might miss. So I'm excited for Jamie to dive in and show you all of these tips inside of SpeedGrader. Sky, our good friend, is already joining us. Looking forward to this next presentation. We are as well. So as always, I get out of the way. No one needs to see my ugly face as we're going through this. We'll let Jamie take over and have a, as Sky would say, magical SpeedGrader day.
Let's go for it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. So grateful to be here. I was just going to walk you guys through an assignment that I built and then some different features that are available inside of SpeedGrader that are going to make your life so much easier. I always tell people that SpeedGrader is like having a teacher assistant. I remember back in the day, there were like teacher's assistants and there were interns in some of my courses for college and in class. And so using SpeedGrader is a lot like having that teacher assistant again, because you have just that extra little bit of help that's going to help you get through things a lot easier and faster. So whenever you're in an assignment, you just want to pop over here to the side and you want to click on SpeedGrader. And that is going to bring you over to the SpeedGrader part of your assignment. So here we are. So we can see we have a few things happening here, and I want to walk you through some of these menus just so you can see exactly what all we have going on. So over here, I'm first going to start with this little menu right here at the top of where a student has submitted something. So this is the assignment. The assignment was to write an essay about giving. It actually has a rubric attached. So I'll show you how you can utilize that as well. If you would like to download the assignment from the student, and I have a lot of elementary teachers that I work with, and they still enjoy, even when students have submitted their assignments, they still like to download them, print them out, and put them on the wall, you know, like for parent-teacher night, for different meetings, whether the students maybe have some accommodations and have had some struggles. It's really great to still have that option. So that is available if you would like to download a PDF version of what the student submitted. Here you're able to have the page navigator. So other than just scrolling up and down, you have the ability to go here as well. Right here, if you needed to rotate the page clockwise, you're able to do that. And then you have your zoom tools as well as being able to make this document full screen for you to be able to edit it. One of my favorite things about SpeedGrader are these annotation tools. So right now we are on the pointer, but let me show you what's really cool about using SpeedGrader here. You have a couple of different options. One is a point annotation. I can come over here and choose my color. So maybe I want it to be red. And maybe what I want to do is ask a student or make a certain point about a question here. So it will give me a little text box out to the side so that I can notate to the student, you know, maybe I want them to please give me more details on their essay or their picture or whatever it is you're grading. So that is that point annotation tool. Another item that I really like is this highlight annotation. So again, you're able to choose your color. You're able to come to the document and you're able to highlight a particular piece of text. Excuse me. In addition to highlighting it, it also gives you an option if you want to leave a comment. So if you want to let students know why you highlighted that piece of text, it gives you that option as well. Of course, if you think, oh, nope, I don't want to do that, I highlighted the wrong thing, all of these annotation tools have this little trash can so that you're able to say, all right, I want to delete this annotation. I highlighted the wrong thing. So you're able to get rid of those as well. Over next on our annotation tools, we have the text box. So if there's something that you wanted to type in for a student, maybe you would say, please give this a title. You could do that. You could put that text box there for students. You actually even have the ability to move it around so that you could put it where you want the student to see it. You can decide if you would like it to be a background. You can have different sizes for that text as well. So you can make it small, medium, large. And then again, if you change your mind, then you're able to just click the little trash can and get rid of it. You have the Strikethrough Tool. So you're able to actually strike through text and again, maybe give students a little more detail or a little comment about why you wanted them to get rid of this. So we're going to say, please delete. And then one of my favorite annotation tools is sort of this free-form marker tool. So this really comes in handy. I like this a lot when students, maybe they've submitted, and again, I'm thinking of my elementary teachers here. They have students who have maybe submitted something that they've drawn or, you know, a picture that they've created, and you're able to go in and actually annotate and circle and you want to make sure on this, you give it that check just to confirm that, yes, that's where I wanted to place the circle. And again, as always, you have this little text box out to the side where you're able to give the student more feedback. Why did you circle that? What was the point that you wanted them to see? What do you want them to correct or do differently? Or maybe you just want to tell them they did a great job here. So that's available as well. And then lastly, we have this last tool up here in the sidebar, and that's just going to allow you to draw a box. So if you wanted to, again, put something inside a box, then again, you can draw the box and then leave a comment for the student to let them know what it is that you want them to notice about that. So once you are done with that, you can see where it's marked up very similarly to how a actual, you know, teachers get out their red pens and do the marking up, and you can see that you're able to do that and give them comments about their work there. So that's what I love a lot about using SpeedGrader, is just the ability to have these annotation tools. So let's move over and let's talk a little bit more about the navigation up at the top. You have a few options here. If you click this first option, it's going to take you directly to the gradebook. So just a sort of a shortcut link for you to get back to the gradebook. This allows you to post or hide grades. You might hide the grades until you're ready for them all to be, you've graded all of them, and then you post all of them at the same time. And then this is settings. So you have a couple of different options inside of settings. One of these options allows you to decide how you want to view your SpeedGrader. And I'm actually going to circle back to that in just a second because there's a couple of different ways you can do that. Up at the top, if you need to return to the assignment page, so if you need to go back to this assignment page, you can get there by clicking the title of the assignment. If you need to go back to the home page of your course, then you simply click the title of your course and it takes you back to the home page of your course. So again, just some little links for you to be able to get to the areas that you need to the fastest. Over here on the right-hand side, it lets you know how many papers were submitted. So we can see that 3 were submitted and none of them have been graded yet. However, right now I am viewing the first one out of the 3 that have been submitted. It was submitted by Hermione, and you'll notice she has a dot next to her name. When I click this drop-down menu, you can see that I have a couple of students with orange dots next to their name. So a lot of times the students, or every time, the students with the orange dots means that that is a new submission. So that means something that has been submitted that you have not yet graded as a teacher. If you come down here and you see a name that's grayed out, that means that is a student who has not submitted anything yet for this assignment. So this student does not yet have a submission. You can also navigate in between your students by clicking the arrows forward and backwards. And so now I'm going to circle back to how you might want to set up your student list. And that was back over here in settings. So you'll notice right now, it appears to be alphabetical. There are a couple of other options though, and I'm going to tell you one that I used a lot that I liked. So you can see you can sort it by alphabetical name. You can sort it by the date they submitted the assignment. So it would put the assignments in order by the date that they submitted. This final one, this was my favorite when I was a teacher. I loved it being sorted by submission status. That way it puts the ones that were turned in most recently at the top with that orange dot. So immediately I would have the ones that needed grading would be submitted at the top. After that would be the students who had not submitted, and below that would be the students who had submitted and that I had already graded their assignment. So that was one of my favorite settings inside of SpeedGrader, just because I liked that as soon as I came to the assignment into SpeedGrader, it organized it so that the ones that I needed to grade first were at the top of my list. All right, so now you can see the submission date and time, which we love having that record, not only for students and for yourself, but also for parents so that they know, when their student has turned something in and what time they did that. I get a lot that are submitted at like 11:29 at night. Sometimes like, yes, your student did it at like midnight last night. You also have the submitted file. So here's another place where it's like the attachment. So if you wanted to download just the file that they submitted, you can do that here. Over here, just to give you a little difference between the two download buttons, this download button would actually download the entire annotated PDF. So now that I have my annotations on this document, it's actually going to download the entire document, including these little PDF comments and all these annotations that I made. It'll do that into a PDF for you. This download button will give you just the blank document. Now is the part where I can grade this. I have the ability to put in a grade for them, but there is a rubric that I created for this assignment. I'm going to adjust my window a little bit so that when I click on View Rubric, I'm able to see the entire rubric. So I just took these little 3 dots here in the center and it let me slide it over. So now what is great about using rubrics inside of SpeedGrader is it is super easy to grade it very quickly. So I'm going to go through and click for the, they didn't give me any pictures, but they did all of these things really well. It will automatically put it into box side. If to get an explanation on the rubric, you have an option with that as well. So I can say, you didn't get any points because there were no pictures. So you're able to give them comments on the actual rubric item as well as giving them comments on the paper. It comes down here and it tells them, what their total was. If you need to go back and change something, you can just come back up and change it, and you'll see that it'll adjust it down here at the bottom for you. Once you click save, that's when it will transfer these marks from the rubric to their grade. So let's click save. And now you can see they have their grade that is there and that will be available for them in the grade book, as well as the comments and the additional items that are on the rubric. In SpeedGrader, there's a few features, whether or not you have a rubric, that are still available for, and I'm going to click, let me click save. So there's a few features that are available even if you don't have a rubric, and one of those is assignment comments. So we just came out with a feature, I think it was in May. Canvas did an update, and they now allow you to save comments, frequently comments. And let me tell you, when I was a teacher, I would have loved this because a lot of times there was the same comment of like, please see my comments and resubmit. Please resubmit. Please resubmit. I must have typed that hundreds of times. So it would have been really nice if I could have had that comment saved, and I probably would have even saved something a little bit longer if that ability was there. So you can see right here, this is where you're able to access your comment library. I have 6 comments in there already. So when I click that, I am able, there's my please resubmit. I would be able to go in and click the comment. And again, these can be, I just typed these quickly today, but you're able to go in and save extensive comments if you would like. You can, type out something very long. If it's something that you use often, save it here in your comment library, and then you're able to go and use that. So I'm actually going to come here and I'm just going to click capitalization. You see now it goes into the assignment comments. If I wanted to add additional, I could add additional here. You could add comments here as well. So I'm able to do that for the student in addition to maybe that most frequently used comment. A couple of other options for adding assignment comments. You are able to attach a file. So after you have graded it, there was sometimes that, maybe a student misunderstood the directions. And so I might reattach a file that had the directions or some further explanation for them so that if they did try the assignment again, maybe they just had some clarity on what was being asked of the assignment. But any type of file you can attach here. You can actually record a video of yourself giving them a comment. So when I do this, you can see the camera comes up. I can start recording. I've got my mic and my webcam here, and I'm actually able to give them feedback that I could just talk to them like I'm talking to you right now and save that as a video comment, and it would go to them as well. And then lastly is the speech to text or speech recognition, voice to text, where you're able to speak what it is that you're saying, and it will pick up your voice. And when you click record, I can record lots of different things for students, period. Then they are able to see them here in the assignment comments, period. So then it puts it into your assignment comment. So I said word at the beginning. I didn't know I said that. So again, it puts it in the assignment comments for you. So again, the rubrics, the way you're filtering through assignments, all of the options inside of SpeedGrader, along with the way you're able to even do these comments, are going to be a huge time saver for you as a teacher. When you're ready, you hit submit, and those assignment comments are recorded. And the students are able to go in and see their grade. They're able to see the rubric as well as any comments listed on the rubric. And they're also able to open up their submission and see their annotations that you put there as well as any comments that you gave them on the side. So that is a quick overview of SpeedGrader. And one thing that I forgot to mention, now that I have one submission graded, this has populated, which you can go up here. Oops, sorry, you can go up here and you can actually see, it sort of keeps track of the average, the class average.
We had a question come in, Jamie, specifically, and I don't know the answer to this because the feedback and comment section is something new, but is it possible to make the feedback and comments available to students without the grade being released, it sounds like?
So the best way that I would do that would be just to give the feedback and comments and leave the grade blank. And as soon as you hit submit, students are able to see any assignment comments. And I believe even when you annotate on it, they're able to go, I believe they're able to go and click grades in Canvas. They can find this assignment and they can click the little page looking thing. And when they open it up, your annotations will be there. I think there's a link that says see feedback. And when students click see feedback, they're able to go in and do that, but they can see assignment comments. I mean, that was when I talked about putting the comment, please resubmit. I didn't give it a grade at all because the student had, a lot of times it was related to Google, or they had uploaded my directions or the blank copy, not their actual annotated copy for the assignment. So most of the time I just gave them, because what's cool about these assignment comments is it will pop up on their, I believe it pops up on their feedback on their homepage. So when they have that little to-do list, so those comments go through immediately.
Yeah. And Sky popped in here too. Yes, it
Oh.
is immediate as long as the grading posting policy isn't set to manual.
Correct.
Sky, one of our deep thinkers here on the Canvas fam, hanging out with us today.
Awesome.
But yes, that policy needs to be set or isn't
In the
set
grade
to
book.
Yeah, in the grade
that's set in the grade book. So as long as it's not the manual, it'll go automatically to students. But
awesome.
Yes, that please resubmit comment was seen by hundreds of students.
And that's a frequent flyer for sure.
It was.
If anyone has any more additional questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. Someone in the comment section will be sure to help you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to Jamie so much for being here today.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me. I think SpeedGrader is such a time saver, and it just sort of really revolutionized when I was a teacher, what I was able to do and the amount of feedback I was able to give my students. And especially now in this, sort of digital era of education that we're in, it's just immeasurably useful.
Oh yeah. I think it just once it was a tool that could then be integrated in student information systems that would allow you to not only just grade inside SpeedGrader and then not worry about having to repost those grades elsewhere, immediately was a game changer for me.
Yes,
and my educators. The passback is fantastic, but then to be able to do all this other stuff, the functionality that's inside of it just really sets it off. So again, if you have any questions, please make sure do not hesitate. Ask them on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of the things. We appreciate you joining us today. This has been 5 straight hours of live streams for all of our back to school topics, assignments, settings, courses, so much great content that we will not only be reposting on a lot of these channels, but also be housing on the web pages and those sorts of things. So check them out. Please be sure to share them with your PLNs or your circles out there for professional learning. We appreciate it. Thanks again to Jamie. Everyone have a fantastic Monday.
Happy back.